I want to end this foundation with a thought that's been growing in my mind for years. I think every one of us lives with two versions of ourselves: the person we are today and the person that we're capable of becoming. The distance between those two people is responsibility, not talent, not intelligence, not luck. Responsibility. Because every responsible decision moves us a little closer to the person we were created to become. One of the questions I started asking myself isn't what do I want, it's who am I becoming? I love that question because it changes everything. When you're focused only on results, you're always looking outward. When you're focused on becoming, you begin looking inward. You start paying attention to your habits, your character, your discipline, your integrity. Because eventually, those things determine the results anyway. Whether we realize it or not, life is constantly shaping us. Every conversation, every decision, every habit, every disappointment, every success, every failure, none of those experiences leave us exactly the same. The question isn't whether life is changing you. The question is, are you participating in that process intentionally? Responsibility is choosing not to drift. It's choosing to become. When I look back over my own life, I don't see one defining moment. I see thousands of small decisions. Reading when nobody expected me to, continuing my education, building businesses, writing books, starting over, changing my mind, admitting my mistakes, learning new skills. Every one of those decisions quietly changed me. Not overnight, but over time. That's how responsibility works. It transforms us slowly enough that we don't even notice until one day we realize that we're not the same person anymore. Sometimes people ask me what I'm really building. Is it a YouTube channel, a website, a publishing company, an educational platform? And the answer is yes. But that's not the deepest answer. What I'm really trying to build is people, not followers, thinkers, people who are willing to investigate, people who are willing to accept responsibility, people who are willing to pursue truth, even when it's uncomfortable. Because if enough people become better thinkers, families improve, communities improve, countries improve. Everything begins with people. Responsibility has given me something I wasn't expecting: peace. Not because life became easier. Life is still complicated. Projects still fail. Plans still change. People still disappoint me. I still disappoint myself sometimes. But responsibility reminds me that I don't have to control everything. I simply have to faithfully carry what's mine. And there's peace in that because it frees me from trying to live someone else's life or solve someone else's responsibilities while neglecting my own. The more I've thought about these foundations, the more I realize something. Knowledge teaches us how to see. Responsibility teaches us how to act. Without both, growth becomes impossible. You can understand reality perfectly and still refuse to change it. And you can work incredibly hard while pursuing the wrong things. We need both clear thinking and responsible action. And that's why these foundations build upon one another. And as we close this foundation, I'd like to leave you with one question. Not for today, for the next year, maybe even the next decade. And the question is this: if I consistently accepted responsibility for the person I'm becoming, what would I be 5 years from now? And don't answer that quickly. Sit with it, because the answer isn't found in one decision. It's found in thousands of them. I believe one of the greatest privileges of being human is that tomorrow doesn't have to look exactly like today. We can learn, we can grow, we can apologize, we can begin again, we can become wiser, stronger, more disciplined, more thoughtful, more responsible. And every one of those changes begins with a single decision to take ownership of the life we've been given. Thank you for walking through this foundation with me. In our next foundation, we're going to explore one of the oldest questions in human history. What is truth? Because responsibility only moves us in the right direction if the direction itself is true. I'll see you there. Take care.